In a healthy model, the ego sits back such that it does not interfere or filter the life experience. The ego only is used in emergency situations, and any uncomfortable experience must be dealt with by the observer in a timely manner. The observer has a clear view of the universe and has full access to the help offered by the self in the form of intuition. The observer gains access to knowledge held in the universal mind. The rules, or divine law, is also accessible and available when the ego is returned to its proper place. When we relate to others, we deal with them from a self-centric or honest way, not an egocentric or theatrical way. What is the objective of the game we're in? You first are supposed to learn what you are, where you are, and realize that you are confined. Ideally, your parents were supposed to teach you, but they probably don't know yet either, because their parents didn't know. This has been going on for millennia. You are not ready, as a being, to join a responsible community because you are just starting out, and you have no business being in a community where absolute trust is a given, and violating one's rights is not permitted. Until you learn and master this, then you will have to stay and repeat the grade until you master it. Only then will you be allowed to leave once your current life ends. You are to use the tools that you've been given to figure out how to escape. Most do not know they've been confined, or that they need to get out. They cannot detect it because their perception conceals this from them, and their ego makes it all better. Instead, they waste their time chasing their dreams, or living the American dream, or some nonsense like that. If when your time ends here, in your current lifetime, you will either be reborn to do it all over again, or you go on to better things as a graduate of this classroom. Don't worry, you have an eternity of misery to get it right. You are an observer, playing the great prison break learning game. Suicide will not allow you to escape. It will, however, allow you to try again, and may be harder for you the next time. Suicide again? Do it as often as you like. Pretty soon you'll get bored with spending most of your time in diapers covered in your own feces, and actually try to apply yourself. You have no choice, really. And it makes no sense fumbling the kickoff return and sustaining a 15-yard penalty. You are here because, up to now, you have not figured out how to get out of the classroom or the prison. Remember, it is fun. You can lose your life, but that is not the end. The tools. You have a body in whatever shape. The particulars of that body make no difference. You will find that intellect is more of a burden than a benefit. Beauty is a distraction. In this game, being slow and unattractive is a plus. That is, if you realize it's a game. You have the self. It is an agent that works for you and feeds you information to help you get to and through the lessons you need to learn. It sets up the learning scenarios and life lessons cooperatively with other players who are also playing the game. Oh, and here's a hint. Cut the other players a break. They are in the same game you are and blowing it same as you. Through the self, you learn the law and can know what will help you and what will set you back. Here's another hint. Lying is not helping you, regardless if you are ignorant of what you are saying is not the truth. You have a conscience. It is a compass that tells you what is constructive and what is a hindrance. Ignore it at your own peril. When you really blow it, it can be taken away, and it is really hard to get back. You have all the stuff in the universe. Don't try to own it. It is school property, and it is only on loan. The stuff is a learning aid, along with this little principle called cause and consequence. Use it in your experiments. If you try to collect the stuff, it tends to become a burden that you have to carry around with you. Pack light. If you happen to see a weapon lying around, just leave it there for other players to find. You won't need it. They are usually used for negative reinforcement. The rules. Up until now, you probably did not know you were in a game, and you took at face value what the rules are, and you learned this from others who did not have the foggiest clue where they are or what they are. Do not trust what you trust. Throw out the old rules and experiment to figure out exactly what the rules are. Literature, history, science, religion, psychology, philosophy, etc. are all devised by confused people, and some are put there on purpose to confuse you just to make the game interesting. It is best just to toss it all out and start from scratch. Some have made it their objective to never graduate and only try to exploit the confused to make their stay in jail more comfortable. They are allowed to do this because it makes for a better and more challenging game. You have been given tools. The most important is the how-to and help manual. It is hidden within you, in the part we call the self. Again, the Bible calls this thing the Holy Spirit. The self is part of the supreme authority. There is just one self. The flesh robots and the conscious observer all share this one self and one mind. Each sees their individual part of the self and mind. Everything is permissible. Some actions help and work towards escaping, and some actions hurt, delaying your departure. Use the manual and ask the self to identify which is which before you go putting your hand on the red-hot stove. Learn each lesson. If you get good at it, you will put your hand on the stove once. If you are not paying attention, you will do it over again, and it will hurt more. A wise man once said to me, "Hey, idiot, quit walking on my grass." Since it was his grass, and power is expressed on his behalf to defend it, I did not walk on his grass again, and he did not have to say it to me again. If I continued to walk on his grass, he would have kicked my butt. I avoided that consequence by paying attention to the warning instead of ignoring it. You parents know that if you tell your 2-year-old, "Thou shalt not put your hand on the red-hot stove," and you turn your head, what happens? A better way to phrase it is this: if you put your hand on the red-hot stove, it will burn you, and it will hurt real bad. The smart ones will heed the warning. The real smart ones will test to see if you are telling the truth. Now, if you really blow it, you might have to spend a lifetime as a dog who gets abandoned by their owner at the city park. You will be left to sit there, starving to death, walking up to people, endlessly trying to find the scumbag who deserted you. I love this game. I really love this game. Rogue.